Good morning, and thank you very much. The basic idea that I would like to discuss with you today is how do we ensure that we get the best out of the people that work within our organisations. And I guess certainly within the crisis that we face now, it's ever more important to get the choices right. And I guess the basic proposition that I would like to put to you is that investing in people doesn't necessarily have to cost money. Certainly, when we look back at history, this is one of the worst financial crises that we've been facing for a while. And I think one of the dangers of being faced with a crisis is that it's very easy to focus on the short-term solutions. People tend to shy away from taking the much longer-term view, and I think that's what we've got to do right now. Organisations globally are being faced with some really tough choices. There's no doubt that costs are being cut everywhere, discretionary spend, sales, marketing, advertising, and that's all very easy. But then you get down to the final choice that you have to make, and that's what you do with your people. So there's absolutely no doubt that the people within any organisation are one of your most expensive commodities. The key thing is, though, is that it's the people within your organisation that actually shape your culture. The people define what you're all about. And I think that, particularly in the current environment, it's really important that we keep the right focus, we make the right choice. Organisations are not about the IT that you employed. It's not about the number of PowerPoint presentations you produce. It's not about a whole bunch of stuff, but it really is much more about the individuals that you have within any organisation. And I think sometimes that gets forgotten. This is a bit of a strange slide, but this is meant to be kind of a weaved. It's the people that weave the culture through your organisation. It's basically that creates the long-lasting, sustainable nature of, I think, what we're all ultimately trying to do. And I think it's really difficult to buy that. Particularly in times of crisis, I think it becomes much more obvious in terms of who the great leaders are. There's a differentiation between good leaders and great leaders. People that inspire us, people that absolutely make the right choice for the long-term benefit of the organisation. And one word that I've heard a lot this week has been all about courage. It seems to be the thing that people value most, people are searching for. Will courageous leaders actually make the right decisions? And actually, will it give you, ultimately, the right kind of competitive advantage that I think we all strive for? Because ultimately, we want to stand out from the crowd. We want to be doing the right things. And courage, if you have it, ultimately will differentiate the leaders from people that follow. It's not enough, I think, to be able to attract and retain people. You also have to look to develop them. And it's about maximising that element of human capital that you have within your organisation, almost regardless of level. So you've got to look to the tunnel. As I said at the beginning, it's very, very easy to focus on the short term. The power at the moment is in the hands of us, the organisations, the employers. But at some point, that's going to reverse. And when the system comes back, when markets recover, when the economies get back, then it's going to be much easier for employees to decide. And one of the ideas that we've started within our organisation is this whole idea of kind of coaching and mentoring. And I think, again, the point is here, it doesn't necessarily have to cost a lot of money, and it can be very rewarding and stimulating for everybody. But in fact, the biggest element that it really costs you is time. And I think the point is, are we prepared to give time to people that we work with to put something back? I think each and every one of us can remember some people in our early careers that gave us the time. And I think really now we have a choice. Is this something that we want to give back? The other point that I'd like to make is that I think people have this sort of mistaken notion that mentoring is something you do to someone else. Mentoring and coaching is actually a very two-way street. It absolutely shouldn't be one-sided, and it should be something that each and every one of us should benefit from. I'm personally mentoring 3 people, and I have got so much out of it over the past 6 years. And what's the point? Well, I think the point is that people who feel valued, engaged, and motivated perform better. They go the extra mile. There's no doubt that you create that sense of momentum, and the sense of winning is really important. And I guess the final slide that I'm going to end on is the British Olympic team. I had to do this, but I think the point here is that over the past few years, the British Olympic Association have had very little funding, and I think it's amazing what can be done without necessarily spending a whole lot of money. we actually came fourth in the medals tables. So I guess, in essence, to conclude, I think the point that I'm trying to make is that these are very difficult times. Difficult times bring difficult choices, and ultimately, what will prevail? Will it be sort of lots of policies, or actually will we focus on the people? Thank you.